Adrian Archibald on pole position on a grid established in the relatively good weather of Tuesday, and head down. Good start. Ryan Farquhar closing in already. Ryan Farquhar alongside already. It's a little bit iffy here, isn't it, Steve? The course is still not perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. You can see the damp patches there now as they head off down towards York Hairpin, and a lot of different tyre choices here, I can tell you.
Oh, James Hillier.
Wow, down the inside. And these, of course, 650cc twin machines. John Burrows we're riding with now, and you can see the track very, very wet on the inside there, so they're all trying to get those tyre temperatures up.
You can see a nice dry line as they go to the second wave of the grid. We're on board with Ian Locker. He had a bit of a mare on Tuesday, and he's got a lot of work to do this evening, hasn't he? He
certainly has, starting right from the back, and here we are, Slipstream City. That was Jeremy McWilliams. We were looking down on Adrian Archibald, and of course Jamie Hamilton there, number 44.
And up through the slipstream comes number 5. That's Michael Rutter we're looking at now. You can see there's a dry line, as you say, on the crown of the road's dry, but everything else is wet, isn't it? You see a little bit of a rooster. Oh, it almost touched.
Rutter's on the damp part there on the brakes. McWilliams on the right-hand side of him. Let's say break down into the University corner, and it'll be tricky for them because Rutter's on the drier tyre.
Jeremy McWilliams, you can see his elbow going as he was going down through the gears there, right the way from flat out to walking pace almost.
Yeah, and as I said, it actually was quite interesting because Jeremy McWilliams has full wet tyres on. Ryan Farquhar has an intermediate front and a dry rear, and Michael Rutter has the dry option, which will be good in the dry section, but it's not very dry here as we ride with Jeremy McWilliams, the slipstream there working. These bikes have got about 85-90 brake horsepower, so you do need to slipstream.
They're on the brakes now going into the chicane. They're pretty evenly matched on power, so you really can see the slipstream at work. Very important to get the drive out of the chicanes, though, isn't it?
Yeah, the old twin cylinders grumbling along there as again on the brakes. McWilliams will be good, I would have said, on the brakes into the chicane there at McAvoy. Now it's the long, fast run down, but Farquhar there, look at him, he is on the wet and snaking everywhere.
Grim and determined was the look on his face as Adrian Archibald just chops in into the left-hander, and they head uphill towards the railway bridge, under the bridge here, turning right, and then it goes all short circuit over the coast road.
And this part is the drier sectional once they get up on top of the hill here, over the top, riding with McWilliams here. Now, of course, the first time he's ever been to the Northwest 200, did a really good job. Looking back from Adrian Archibald, and McWilliams has gone for the inside.
Just goes floating through there. That is short circuit work, isn't it? Farquhar with his head down, McWilliams in second place, Adrian Archibald behind in third. There's a gap back now to James Hillier in fourth.
Looking at the conditions, I do think that Ryan Farquhar's gone for the right option. An intermediate front and a dryish rear, but that rear still has a number 16 is
John
out.
Burrows.
John Burrows is out there.
And this, right in, isn't he? Adrian Archibald, right in and alongside. They can almost read the dials on each other's machine. Williams looks across the line.
On board with McWilliams, late on the brakes, looking for that dry section as he tips it in there, and if you run off, it's really, really tricky. The roundabout here, Farquhar, though, commanding lead that he has now, looks like about 3 seconds.
The governor, the guru of this class, the godfather of Supertwins, making his mark very clear here as Michael Rutter, still got James Hillier right with him.
Michael Rutter, again, hadn't seen this bike until he got out here, but he's doing a good job, and I think enjoying it.
And James Hillier is enjoying the slipstream. Michael Rutter comes out behind him to get in his slipstream and try and get a tow. Ryan Farquhar's already thinking about his braking point and the turn in at the Metropole.
All the different lines. Look. Yeah, look at different lines. You can see 2 dry patches there, but it's McWilliams uses the inside line to good extent. Rutter's being followed in by James Hillier as Rutter tries to get on the power. You can see them scrabbling for grip and bucking around.
Rutter absolutely in the wet on the brakes. It's Farquhar, it's McWilliams, it is Adrian Archibald right behind, then it's Michael Rutter and James Hillier. And this is a race, isn't it? We weren't really expecting this from the first Supertwins at the Northwest, the first Thursday night racing, and it is red hot.
All Kawasaki's, these front 5 here, all the ER6 Kawasaki's, and not expensive bikes to build. We reckon about £12,000 you've got yourself a competitive motorcycle, and what racing it's producing.
Yes, it's got a very competitive riders on them as well. I mean, Michael Rutter's getting very racy. He doesn't want to be back there, does he? He wants to come and join the fun at the front.
Williams there slotted into second position round that corner. Doesn't seem to be drying much on this section. He's in the shelter out of there. but Ian Locker is battling his way through, having started right at the back of the pack.
Had problems on Tuesday getting this bike set up, and that didn't sound as if he was right on it there either, did it? But they are a different noise, aren't they?
Certainly. McWilliams, everyone ride with him. That's McWilliams going through. There he is, looking back from Adrian Archibald. Again in the slipstream. You can see the helicopter trying to keep up with him in the background.
Even the Supertwins with about less than 100 horsepower on the brakes.
Oh, how close do you like that? Impressive.
Right through, didn't he? Can he stop and turn? He can. Ryan Farquhar, meanwhile, is looking fairly comfortable up the front, no pressure.
Well, dominated this series in these local races. He's built the bikes, of course. McWilliams, Michael Rutter and him, and Jamie Hamilton, all on the KMR machines, all on the bikes built by Ryan Farquhar.
Once again, down behind the bubble as we use the dry bit of the road and the slipstream. James Hillier comes streaking past. That is the toe, isn't it? And Michael Rutter going with him. And Michael Rutter trying to get a toe and go past James Hillier as well, but I don't think he will.
No, I don't think he will. And you can see that bike moving around a lot, that heavily treaded front tyre doing the job, though. He's getting the heat in there. Farquhar looks very, very comfortable. But Williams, I reckon he's closing him down a little bit. Rutter nips through on the inside.
Oh, is it over yet? This is so close, and we are still yards away from the start-finish line as we get this sorted out, but it is first, second and third KMR. Adrian Archibald fourth, James Hillier is fifth.
Impressive stuff. Ryan Farquhar will be really pleased about this, won't he? These conditions, though, we talk about the riders say they want it wet or dry. Well, this is just horrible. It's the worst you could possibly have it. Wet places, wet patches, dry patches, overworking the tyres in the dry, not enough grip in the wet.
Ryan Farquhar hasn't put a foot wrong, and he's very pleased with that. If he looks behind him, he'll be even happier.
What a podium for him.
Look at that. It's KMR first, second and third. Farquhar, McWilliams and Michael Rutter. James Hillier strong and fighting fourth in front of Adrian Archibald.